We're going to go in 3, 2, 1. Lions Lounge Lockdown, episode 39. Who are Scott Taylor? How are you, mate? Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, it's good to be on, mate. It's good to be on. I see your shows and that, they're really good. And it's nice to see some old faces being interviewed and seeing what they're up to nowadays. So, yeah, it's good.
Brilliant, mate. Looks like life's treating you well. I said you come to Millwall when I was 15. I said, I look older than you now.
I put on a little bit over lockdown, so I need to get rid of it. But, yeah, not too bad. Thank you very much.
So, you joined Millwall in 1995. You signed from non-league Staines Town, is that correct?
That's right, yeah. I sort of broke into the first team at Staines at around probably about 17 years old, 18, and then started scoring some goals. And then a load of scouts come down looking, Millwall obviously being one of them. But the first was Chelsea, who took an interest, and they sent me down for a week's trial down there. And I'll never forget it because, coming from Staines and then I get plonked into the first team changing room with the likes of Wise, Spencer and, that kind of era. Jesus. And they sat me right next to Dennis Wise. And then Graham Ricks come in and I didn't really know of him. Do you know what I mean? Back in the day, but he's not like an Arsenal legend. And he goes, hello, Scott, morning. I'm going to take you for training today. I said, yeah. My name's Graham Ricks. I went, pleased to meet you, Graham. And he walked out and then I was in such an awe. I was like, fuck, what's his name? I forgot his name. So Dennis was sitting right next to me. And I said, Dennis, what was his name again? Sorry, I forgot. And he goes, fuck it. He goes, Rexy! He pulls him back, right? And he goes, do you know what he just said to me? He goes, who's that fucking CUNT going to take me training? I don't want to train with that fucking idiot. Do you know what I mean? And he absolutely ruined me the first day. And I'll never forget it. And I just thought, oh, shit, that's typical Dennis Wise. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, yeah, so I was there a week on trial. I think I'd done all right, to be honest. I come back and then I think they put an offer in, but Staines wanted more, I think because it is Chelsea. And then Chelsea went, well, we're not too sure. We'll have him back for a week's trial. So I was like, yeah, fine, no problem. And then before I know it, on the Thursday night, I got a call from my manager at Staines and he just said, do you still want to become a professional footballer? I said, what do you fucking think? And he goes, well, Millwall have come in. They put an offer on the table. Mick McCarthy wants to meet you Sunday night at the Hilton Heathrow. I started shaking, goosebumps coming up. I thought, oh my God, boyhood dream. So I went down Sunday night, met Mick McCarthy. He just said, here's a contract. You got a 3-year deal, signing on fee. Are you happy with the terms? I went, I'll sign anything. I don't, it's my dream. I don't care about the money. Money back then was totally different anyway. But he said, I said, yeah, where do I? He goes, all right, I'll get Ron to pick you up Monday, have a medical, sign the contract properly and then start training Tuesday. And I was just, I'm getting goosebumps now talking about it because I'll never forget it. An 18-year-old kid, boyhood dream, Millwall as well. Do you know what I mean? So
was you a Millwall fan growing up, or? No,
I didn't really. I was more. I know you're going to hate this, but I was like West Ham when I was a little kid. But then once I've been in the game now, I don't really support anyone. I just follow my old clubs. The ones that I've got a lot of passion for, really. So and Millwall being one of them. My kids are both supporters. I try and get down the Den with my daughter. I've been down a few times last year, well, not last year, the year before.
That's brilliant.
But since lockdown, I've not been able to take her down there.
No, of course not. So what sort of? I'm thinking, 17 years old during Staines, breaking into their first team. It was a bit of a whirlwind, wasn't it, to go on loan at Chelsea, then sign for Millwall. What sort of? How come she wasn't picked up as a younger player, though? As a kid by a pro club.
I was. I got picked up by Wimbledon when I was like 14, 15, and then my dad used to drive me all over the place, like to games and training and that. And then they kept messing you around, like they'd say, "I'll come to training." You get there, and it's called off tonight. Well, why didn't you tell us? Or come to a game, and we're not part of the squad today. And I'm like. Yeah. My dad said, you know what, it's a waste of time, the communication shit. He goes, look, if you're good enough, you're going to make it. You need to be playing regular first team football at your age now and show what you can do. And, I got lucky. He was right. I played regular first team football for Staines. I was banging in goals. Yeah, so just playing week in, week out and got spotted.
Brilliant, thankfully. Mate. Then you come to Millwall. What was your first impressions of the club?
Thanks. I went down there on the Monday, had a medical with, I think it's Dr. Charlotte back in the day. She was a lovely lady. And then they walked me around the stadium and I'm just like, oh my God, I've half done it. Do you know what I mean?
It's pretty brand spanking new at that point, wasn't it? It was what, a year old?
It was, yeah. It was beautiful, absolutely fantastic. And then I think I trained on the Tuesday, and I think I got thrown into a reserve game on the Wednesday straight away at the Den as well. So that was my first ever game. My dad come and watched, and afterwards I said, "How'd I do? How'd I do?" Because you're panicking because you stepped up from a Deodora League to, I mean, I was in Division 1 at the time, and he said, "I'll tell you what," he said, "you did not look out of place." And my dad's my biggest critic.
Yeah.
God rest his soul. And he said, "You did not look out of place at all. You look like you've been there years." And I was like, "Oh, brilliant," because he'd tell me the truth. So, and it sort of rolled on from there, really.
Back then as well, like, it isn't like now, like 23s football. Like, you hear a lot of pros say ex-pros. That Resi football was still tough.
Yeah. Yeah, we had like the West Ham's, Chelsea. It was playing all the local teams as well. And it was a tough reserve game, reserve league, so to speak. But I loved every minute of it. I was just buzzing. I was there. I had a 3-year deal, and I just thought, right, next step, I've got to break into the first team. I remember Mark Kennedy, I think, he sort of went just as I come in, and I see in the papers that he went for 2 mil to Liverpool, and I just thought, I want to get as far. I want to progress. I want to go as far as I can. Do you know what I mean? And so, yeah, I just sort of had them sort of ambitions and dreams once I was there. And because I was working full time before, doing like 6 till 2 shifts or 8 till 4s, I literally grabbed it with both hands. I thought, I don't want to be going back working again, whereas this is what I wanted to do. And, I sort of grabbed it and took it.
I know, you're saying you feel like I've made this now. No one's taking it away from me. Do you know what I mean?
No, I remember a couple of lads signed from non-league the same time as me as well. And they were sort of going out on a Tuesday night down at Gym Palace, down the Old Kent Road and things, and thinking, "No, I've got a 3-year deal." And within a year, they're back in non-league.
Lee McRobert, one of them, was it?
Yeah, he was one of them, yeah. He was a character, yeah.
Was he?
Yeah, he was. I think me and him shared a room because we come at the same time. Nice lad, great lad. But I think he sort of went down that road a little bit, whereas I wanted to say, "No, I'm fucking giving up everything. I want to, just because I've signed a 3-year deal, you've got to keep performing, keep impressing to get another 3-year deal. And thankfully I've done that through my career."
So was you from like Staines Way? Did they ship you over, put you in digs, or because I know it sounds stupid, but to get to Staines to Bromley every day is quite a slap, isn't it? Or at that time,
it is a bit of a slap, but I stayed where I was. It's only like, well, without traffic, you're looking at 40 minutes. So it ain't too far, but it's like about an hour and a half in the mornings. Coming home was all right. You finished at 12, didn't you? Around that time.
Sure.
But I travelled in with Beardy every day. So I shot down the A3, come off at Cheriton Bowls, and he lived sort of just the Sutton area. So we used to meet at his house there, and then just go the back roads to Bromley. So he weren't too bad, to be honest.
What a boy he is, Beardy, by the way, legend, isn't he?
Yeah, he's fantastic, great lad, great character. Yeah, I travelled in with him for the best part I was there, really. Played in reserves with him. Yeah, still a lot of. He when I finished my career, I ended up going back to Staines, and then Tooting and Mitcham, he was manager of Tooting and Mitcham, and he got me down on loan with him down there for a bit to help him out. So nice. Yeah, he's a nice, great lad.
Your Mill debut, do you remember it?
I was on the bench.
Yeah,
I think I can't remember the date, but all I remember was I weren't in the 16 or 12 or wherever it was back then. I can't remember. Like, I think there were about 3 subs, weren't there? I weren't on the bench, and I was up in the stand getting ready to walk, because everyone had to go and watch the game, whether you're involved or not, at home. And I was up there munching away on a burger, and the physio was like frantically waving up where we were all sitting, and then we was all looking around going, "What's he fucking waving at, the nutter?" And then he kept pointing, and everyone was going, "What?" And eventually it come to me, and he goes, "Yeah, get down here." So I was like, "Fuck!" So I finished my burger, went downstairs, got in the change room when someone got injured. I can't remember who it was, and just said, "Right, you're on the bench, get changed." I was like, "Fucking hell!" So I didn't even have time to worry about it or think about it or, drive into the game. No, I'm on the bench. It's just like bang, and then I come on for about 15 minutes, and I think I just run my socks into the ground and done all right, and sort of stayed on the bench ever since.
Yeah, it was Port Vale at home. We lost 2-1 on the 5th of April '95. I did my research this morning, but how do you feel? Just this isn't in my notes. Just thinking how you feel as a footballer. You'll be the first to admit you didn't always start for Millwall, and you wasn't always on the bench. But like you said, 2-3 subs in them days. Now, different story. You may have got a lot more opportunities, mightn't you?
I might have done, yeah, to be honest. I was sort of off the bench, on the bench, but I was just buzzing with the whole thing. And if I weren't on the bench, I was like, right, I want to get on the bench. So it was just brilliant and to be around, and just wanted to just keep bettering myself every day in training and keep improving and impressing to get a regular bench spot, and then maybe one day a regular first team spot. But I weren't there, unfortunately, long enough to get that opportunity. But the opportunities I did get, I sort of grabbed and took with both hands.
When you first came to the club, because there's other strikers at the club at this point, Kerry Dixon, David Oldfield and Richard Cadet. So, well, a couple of very good players there, but aging players, and Richard Cadet not so much so. But what did Big Mick say was going to be your role within the team? Did he let you know on that one, or did you say come to the club, see what happens, or did you say,
No, he just. I think he just see a lot of potential and a lot of rawness in me as a young kid, with sort of no fear, and he never really just said, you're going to be pushing for first team spots. He wanted me there, and he wanted to nurture me and progress me in training. And if I'd done well, then I would be taking their spots basically. But it's one of them. But all three of them are great characters. I come across Dave Oldfield, played against him a few times later on in our career in different clubs, and Kerry's just Kerry. He's just a wild card.
I can't. Yeah, do you know what? Someone else said this, and I couldn't believe that when I heard it. Apparently he's like he's a real character, covered in gold, sovereigns and all sorts of things.
Yeah, he's a big gambler back in the day as well, which sort of didn't help him a little bit. We'll meet at Todderton services, and he'll be just get his mate over and just whisper a few things and just put a few quid, and he'll go to the bookies and whatever. So, but he is such a lovely fella and all, really nice, down to earth. For someone who's quite a big time player back in the day.
Yeah.
He was so down to earth and so humble, and all three of them, to be fair, sort of made me feel welcome. Didn't make me feel like on edge or anything like that. It was quite nice. And Richard Cadet, I play in a vet team, and he's turned out for us a couple of times. So I bumped into him a couple of years ago, which was quite nice, and had a little run out of him. So yeah, it's all good.
For time's sake. So the reason I said that about what did Big Mick say to you, your role in the team was going to be, or maybe he didn't, is in the 95-96 season, of course, in the summer, for the first time in a long time, you could say in Millwall terms, we half had a go financially. We brought in Ricky Newman, Bobby Bowery. Obviously, we sold a few players. And he brings in Uwe Fuchs, £750,000, and Chris Malkin, 400k. So how did you feel about when those boys come to the club? And I want to know as much as you got on Uwe Fuchs.
Uwe? Oh dear! I didn't really rate Uwe much, to be honest with you.
Opinions alone, mate.
But yeah, obviously, when a manager buys in two new players that are in your position, you sort of get a bit. Fuck's sake, do you know what I mean? But again, I was young, come from non-league, so I didn't really understand that side of it as much. I was still like, well, I'll keep impressing. I'll do well. It's just one of them things, you can't. There's no odds about that. But they both come in, and I sort of had to keep to a back seat. And I got a lucky break with the old Everton game, which was nice.
We'll get to that shortly. I was going to say to you, just say that when you said when people in your position come in, looking at the player you was, and looking at football now, do you think you'd be more suited now? Like you wasn't an out striker, would you say, or would you say he wasn't?
No, I quite liked. I was more of a number 10 role, like sort of just dropping in. I'm not like massive or physically strong. I'm strong enough to sort of hold my own, but when you come up against big area arse, centre arse, then you got to play away a little bit from them, otherwise you're just going to get battered. But I think nowadays, I'd probably do a lot better, because I'm a bit more quick and nimble, and like I want the balls to feet more, and I can twist and turn. So Malkin's long, gangly, tall, target man, headers, a bit like Uwe's a bit more physical. So I think they tried to go down that route a little bit, and sort of I took a back seat.
What was he like as a person, Uwe Fuchs?
Uwe, to be
there's some funny stories about him, some conflicting ones.
I never really got involved in him too well for that, really. I don't think his English was brilliant. And I just only literally see him at training, and that's it. I didn't sort of mix with him outside the club or anything. So I couldn't tell you much about him, unfortunately.
Oh no, who were you good mates with within the squad?
Beardy was one, obviously. Lee McRobert, because we signed together. More or less like the younger ones, like Tony Dolby's and things like that, you know. And was it Ben Chapman back in the day? I can't remember.
Danny Chapman, wasn't it?
Danny Chapman, that's the one. Yeah, sort of all the younger ones, really.
And then so he wasn't really getting in, obviously for obvious reasons. We spent a lot of money on those two. I didn't think Malcolm was a bad player, really.
No, he's all right. He's a workhorse, isn't he? He'll put it in for you.
And he come from good pedigree as well. He scored goals at other clubs he'd been at before he come to Millwall. But was there a point where you was thinking, I've got to knock on his door here? I'm not, I need a game.
Yeah, I think, I kept doing well in the reserves, and Duvet weren't doing much. And I thought I might get a chance with Malks up top, like little and large kind of thing. So, yeah, I was tempted, but I think I was, again, going back to my age and inexperienced in that era, in that environment. I think I was a bit more scared to knock on the door, because I thought, you've gave me this opportunity to become a professional footballer. I don't want to then start banging on your door and saying, why aren't you playing me, and things like that. Whereas, later on in your career, when you become a bit more experienced, a bit more manly, do you know what I mean? You'll go and knock on the door and say, you take the piss, do you know what I mean? I'm doing well here. But I think I sort of just went with the flow kind of thing, because of where I come from and being so young and naive about it all. I was just happy to be there.
Yeah, do you think, I was talking to this yesterday, I think with Ronnie Ball the other day, and he said he was young. I said, well, how young was you? And he went 21. I said, to be fair, Ron, I wouldn't know what's that 21. You was even younger than that. But thinking back now, do you think if you'd have knocked on his door and gone, Mick, what's going on here, mate? They ain't scoring, get me in. I think he might have gone, fuck me, he's got some bollocks. But
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think if I'd known what I'd known when I was 25, 26, like to go and knock on people's doors, then I would definitely have done it, because, as you said, it shows a bit of bollocks, a bit of character. Yeah. And he might have gone, geez, he's like 18, 19, he's knocking on my door. I quite like this character.
Yeah, exactly.
But I wish I knew a bit more. Everything's hindsight, isn't it? If I knew what I knew when I was 25, 26, I would have been knocking on his door at 18, 19, definitely.
Of course. I was just looking this morning on the Millwall stats, the Millwall history. So he started the season, I always thought it was Malkin and Fuchs, but he actually started at Dixon and Malkin, then it went to Dixon and Fuchs, and then it went Malkin and Fuchs. You didn't really figure at all. You didn't. He wasn't figured either. Sorry, in the first leg against Everton at home, 0-0 draw.
No.
However, the second leg of the Coca-Cola Cup is centre stage, mate. Now's your time. Talk us through it. Everything you can remember about the night. 2 goals and 2 assists.
I know. Well, I remember being on the coach, pulling up at the ground, and I thought, I'm not even going to be on the bench. I'll just leave my bag here. I'll just go in, be a part of the squad. I think he just wanted to, breathe me in slowly. And as I was walking off the bus, Big Mick goes, where's your fucking bag? I can't do the accent. He goes, where's your bag? And I said, what's down there? He goes, get your fucking bag and boots. You're on the bench, son. And I was like, whoa. Got my bag, got in there. I thought, Jesus Christ, I'm on the bench here at Everton. And I remember, that was, a massive stadium. There's like 30, 40,000. I can't remember exactly the figures. And warming up beforehand, I was just, again, in awe. I thought, I've gone from not being on the bench at all, not featuring, to being on the bench at Everton.
Yeah.
And
why do you think that? He just thought your time had come now. So nothing to lose in the cup, throw you into a big experience and situation.
Exactly. And I think because I was doing well in the reserves as well, I think you might have thought, right, he's young, raw, don't really care. Do you know what I mean? He'll just go out and enjoy himself, and that's exactly what I did, to be fair. I never expected to get on. Thatcher got injured in the first half, so I think I come on about 6 minutes before the end of the first half. Yeah. So it sort of bled me in a little bit. I got a bit of the feel for the ball, and that, I thought, this is great. And then went in at half time, come back out, and as I say, the rest is history. I'll never forget it. People always comment to me about it now. I think the first goal.
Before we go to the first goal, I'm sure we 2-0 down as well. It's 2 goals in the second half.
2-0 down, start of the second half.
Right out into Stewart. And there are 2 men up here, Limpar, and down he goes, penalty given. A lunge by Van Vleut, and Anders Limpar wins the penalty for Everton. It was such a stupid penalty to concede as well. He was going absolutely nowhere. Van Vleut does not complain. because Andy Hinchcliffe can win the tie now for Everton. This is Everton's chance, and Andy Hinchcliffe deposits the ball in the bottom corner. Everton are on their way. Right out, a lovely flick through here. Stewart can finish it, and Stewart scores the second for Everton. Beautifully taken by Graham Stewart.
When I come on, we're 2-0 down. So I think that's why I'm probably got on, to be honest. He could have picked anyone else, but he probably thought, 2-0 down, fuck it, give Scott a go. Do you know what I mean? Let him have an experience here.
And talk me through the goals very, very slowly, because I'm going to cut these in as well to the final cut of the edit.
I can't remember. I think it's Alex Ray who's out on the right. He stuck a ball over to Uwe, sorry.
I prefer you keep calling him Duvet. It's brilliant.
He stuck a ball over to Duvet, and then I sort of spun round and coming round just in case, pick up any pieces, because there's always a few knocking around. And the ball ricocheted, and I just leapt onto it with my left foot, one touch, and then just passed it into the bottom corner. And it's just surreal.
Over it comes. Here's Uwe Fuchs. And the chance is still here for Taylor, and a goal. His first ever. And Millwall get a goal back. And Neville Southall stood rooted to the spot, and they believe they're back in this game.
And I thought, right, 2-1, we've got a chance now.
Neville Southall rooted to the spot as well on that first one.
He didn't move, did he? So, Big Nev, unlucky. So, yeah. Just slotted it in there, and then that was it. 2-1, game on.
Then we go straight away at the other end. Another fearless run for you into the box. I think El Barrett brings you down for a penalty, isn't it?
Bit dubious pen, I think, to be honest. I think it was a bit unlucky, but when you really watch it, it did sort of clip my heels a little bit beforehand. But yeah, I think Sav played the ball through. I just ran onto it. I was quite quick back in the day, and then just got in the box. I was sort of going nowhere, so it's a stupid. He should have just shielded me out, but he dived in. Referee give a pen, and then Alex Ray took up, and 2-2, and now it's rocking.
But Millwall are prone to leave gaps, but through the middle goes Taylor again. He's got the hold off Barrett. He's done well, the substitute again there. And down he goes, and a penalty given for the challenge by Earl Barrett. And it's tit for tat here. Penalty at one end, penalty at the other. Earl Barrett can't believe it. Mr. Reid strong his opinion, he did not hesitate. Alex Ray will take Millwall's penalty, and remember, it will make it 2-2, and away goals can be so critical in this competition. Ray, 2-2 it is.
And you know, when Alex stuck the penalty in, I remember the goals in, and all the fans were tucked in the corner over there, and the roar was fantastic. And then from then they just kept roaring and roaring, and Everton fans were just quiet. All you could hear was just the Millwall fans.
So did it go to extra time?
Yeah, it finished 2-2,
yeah.
And then went into extra time. And that's when, I think, again, Sav whipped the ball out to Kerry Dixon on the right-hand side. I was getting in the box. He had acres of space on his own. He sort of brought the ball down, controlled it, and then fired it across into the box. And I just remembered having one touch this way, shifting it to my right, and then sticking it in the top bins with my left foot. And I was like, nah, Nev, you ain't got a chance with that one.
You say you got goosebumps, mate. I've actually got a hard nipple, you telling that story, because it was... I said, well, I remember as a fan, obviously I didn't go to the game. It was a wager in midweek. I had to score. I remember my old man take me the highlights on the London Mat or wherever it was that was on late at night. And I think Gabrielle Clark used to be the commentator. And I watched it before school. That's right. And I didn't know the score, and I couldn't believe that is I'm going to show it anyway on the screen. What an absolute worldie that is, by the way, that goal.
Oh, it's one of the fondest, best goals I think I've scored because of my age, where I've come from, weren't on the bench a lot, got an opportunity at Everton, and to do that to a Premier League defender, Craig Shaw, and a legend goalkeeper. Was just brilliant. And I just ran away. I didn't know what to do. I just stuck my hands in the air. I didn't want to go all heroics or anything. I just put my hands in the air. Everyone just bundled round us. And then, 3-2.
I've come right back. They've just got to hold on now. Kerry Dixon Takes it away into the corner. One to aim at. That's the youngster Taylor. And Taylor, a rasping goal. And that's going to be good enough, maybe, to carry Millwall through.
And then I think the fourth, I think I rolled Sav in for the fourth.
You did, yeah.
I got the ball out on the right and then just slotted him through and he done the rest.
Taylor onto Savage, one-on-one here. Savage might really round off Millwall's night. It's 4-2. Millwall are in the third round of the Coca-Cola Cup. Everton are out.
And it's just brilliant. What a night. And then, yeah, it's fantastic back in the change room.
Well, what was the sort of feeling in the change room after the boys cooked off in shock at what you'd done? No disrespect to you, but you was a young player they didn't really know a lot about. Do you know what I mean?
No, not at all, not at all. I think so. Everyone was just buzzing, rubbing my head, like, well done, Scotty, and stuff like this. And I remember sort of keep your feet straight on the ground. Not that I ever took off the ground. I've always been quite humble and know where I've come from and never wanted to go back there. And I remember Rhino, Keith Stevens, the captain at the time, he said to me, well done, Scotty. Oh, no, cheers, son. He went, don't call me fucking son. And I said, yeah, sorry, Rhino, sorry, mate.
What was he like as a skipper, Rhino? Some of the older Reds, Alex Ray, great to be around every day, I bet.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, I mean, Alex Ray's the character. Rhino was, a proper leader, warrior, just throw himself in front of anything. And, say something like that, just a simple, cheers, son. Don't fucking call me son. And I was like, yeah, you knew where you stood, like, And, it was brilliant. Absolutely. And then Coach Jeremy Owen was fantastic. And then all the papers the next day was Scotcher Taylor, Royal Killer and all that. And
that's exactly what I was going to ask you, because funny enough, you mentioned Mark Beard. Mark Beard said after he scored that day at Arsenal, he just sensed the change. Did you sense the shift, not just around the press, but around from the manager and the club and the other players in your reputation and your hype after that day?
Yeah, I think so, because I started to feature a little bit more on the benches and coming on and doing all right. And then just starting to get my feet under the table, like sort of regular first team substitutes, and then got sold. But I was gutted, really. I loved every minute being there, and I didn't want to go. But I think Bolton and Blackburn come in for me after that for $1.5 million.
Really?
And Mick McCarthy said, no, you're not going anywhere. You're my player. You've got another 2 years here. You're staying here. And I was like, all right, fair enough. I'm happy with that. And then a month later, I think he got the Ireland job. And then Jimmy Nicholl come in and wanted to bring his own players in. And then Bolton come back in, I think, for 150 grand in the end. And Jimmy Nicholl went, yeah, you can go if you want. And that was it. And I thought, I'm not going to feature here now. He doesn't want me. I was sort of mixed player. And I had to make the decision to go and speak to them, see what they had to offer. And they was in the Premiership at the time, in a relegation battle, albeit, but it was the Premiership. So, again, that was another boyhood dream. And, yeah, I signed for them not long after.
Yeah. So it's a bit of your whole thing at Millwall, the good, well, not even the bad, just a change of management, and then you leaving the club. It was a complete whirlwind, wasn't it? I'm sure I remember after that cup game, you started to feature. I'm sure we started to play 3 up front at one point with you,
we did,
and somewhere else. I'm sure we did.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I was more on the left-hand side of it.
Yeah.
So, as I said, I was getting slightly more appearances on the bench, a lot more, starting to buzz a little bit more, and I think this is brilliant. And it all got sort of stopped very quickly and moved on.
Before he left the club, Mick, of course, he did make one other random signing, or two. The Russians. We've heard lots of stories on the Russians, Uran and Kolkov. What do you remember? There's a lot of players in and out the door at this time of the club. We could talk all day about the players and the characters, but in particular, what about the Russians? What were they like? What stories can you tell us?
I remember the only thing I can remember was we played Grimsby away, and I think he scored a couple. Was it Uran, the striker? I think Uran was a striker, wasn't he? Vasily was a midfielder. I think Uran got a couple of goals, and I don't think, to me, they didn't really do much. I don't think their heads were in the right place. I think they come for a bit of money. They didn't really put it in for me. And he got a couple of goals at Grimsby, and afterwards we're in the showers, and everyone's like just bolloco walking around, having a shower and whatever, and he's just standing there, foot up on one of the little ledges, a bottle of beer, smoking. And I'm like, what's going on here? He's just literally bollocker having a bottle of beer and having a fag in the changing room, having a shower. And I'm like, and then someone said to Mick, you seen that out there? He goes, he scores 2 goals every fucking week and do what he wants. But that's the only sort of thing I can remember of them two. As again, I didn't really mix out. They was a bit older than me.
Yeah, so I looked to check this out earlier as well. You was involved. You was on the bench the day they made their debut. Remember that Den pretty much sold out that day. Again, that was another home loss to Port Vale.
Right, yeah.
They were characters, mate.
Yeah, proper.
So you said Big Mick leaves the club. Do you remember, what did that feel for you? You know, play a manager that's brought you in.
I was gutted.
Faith in you.
It is brilliant, Mick McCarthy. He's such a lovely fella, humble, down to earth, stern. You knew where you stood. You didn't want to mess about with him. And I was absolutely gutted to where he was going, because I was thinking, well, what about me? Being selfish, do you know what I mean? I thought, I love it here. Mick brought me in. He's now gone. What's going to happen to me? And then Jimmy Nicol coming in, and he wanted to bring all his Scottish players down. So the first sniff of anybody coming in for players at Millwall that he didn't really want or keep there. I'm surprised he didn't give me a chance, especially after sort of just doing well at Everton and sort of starting to break in. But he's just sort of adamant, no, see you later kind of thing.
So the bid from you, when Mick turned it down, went from 1.5 to 110 for that. Yeah.
Unbelievable. And if I went for 1.5, obviously my wage would have been better, my signing on fees and everything. The club would have made a lot of money, because I think they only paid 45 for me in total in the end. I think 10 grand initially, and then 10 grand every 10 appearances up to 30 appearances. So they would have made a nice bit of money. But that just goes to show how much Mick thought of me, which was nice, because he said, no, you're going nowhere, no matter how much.
But you're going nowhere, Scotty, but I'm fucking off for the
you're going nowhere. Yeah, I'm fucking off in a month, and then you can go for half the money.
So, on that basis, thinking about that situation, would you not been better saying you, listen, I'm off anyway. If you want to go, go, and it'll be a good move for you? Or do you think you didn't have, because it was quite a well thought of thing that he half had an eye on the Ireland job for a while before he took it?
Yeah, I don't know if he was 100% he was going to get it, because, you know, if he was, and they come in for that much money, you'd think he'd just sold me straight away, wouldn't you? But he generally said, no, you're my player, you're staying here with me. And I just left it at that. So I don't know if he is himself 100% he's going to ever leave or get the job. I think he might have just come round out of the blue, and then he snapped at it.
And then you had a good career, mate. You went Bolton, Blackpool, a few other clubs, ended up back where you started at Staines, didn't you, in the end?
Yeah, I've done the full rounds. I was up north for about 10 years. Done well at Tranmere. We got to the Worthington Cup final in 2000, which was again a boyhood dream to play in the final at Wembley. 84,000. We had a fantastic year that year. Again, that's another really friendly club. Tranmere fans are good. And then I moved from there to Blackpool, where I sort of played in my rightful position, because Tranmere was the first real club. Bolton was good, but I was on the bench a lot. And then they offered me another 3-year deal, and I was 21 then, and I just said, no, I need to be playing regular first team football now. So then I went to Tranmere, and I was sort of playing left of the 3 and left wing of a 5 in midfield. And then when I went to Blackpool, then I started to play up front in my rightful position, and I just scored bags of goals. Got in PFA Team of the Year that year, which was a great accolade. That is, all your peers voting for you. It's so nice to be selected for that. And then sort of moved around a little bit, and then, and as you said, ended up back at Staines, become player coach and then assistant manager, and then sort of dropped out of it because they offered me like a little bit less money. I said, I'm not going to do it for that, really. It's too much, going to work every day, because I had to retrain, and then coming home Tuesdays, Thursdays, travelling Saturdays, it's quite a lot. And so I sort of left out of there, then done a bit of scouting for a bit, for my old mates, Shrewsbury, trained a lot for Mickey Mellon. and then play a bit of vet football now on the side.
Mm. So you're not involved in football at all anymore?
No, only like I do charity games when clubs ask me to go back and play. I'm in a vet team. We've got some good players, to be fair, a few ex-pros. And yeah, I've sort of come out for the last couple of years. It's been quite nice having weekends to yourself and going on holiday when you want. You know, I've been on holiday in November. It's unheard of for a footballer.
The contract you had down the years, or like, did you all right as well, judging by the background?
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a great career. I wouldn't knock it for the world. I wish Mick sold me for $1.5 million, but there you go. But as far as the career goes, and I wouldn't change it. It's great memories. Something you've done that you've loved and you wanted to do, and I managed to do it for like 14 odd years. So it's been brilliant. Great to look back on.
I was going to ask you as well. We always finish ours for one standout memory, but from your time at the club, I think I know what it's going to be because you got goosebumps telling me. I had nipples listening to it.
Got goosebumps now, just you going on about it again. Yeah, that's definitely one night in my whole career that I'll never ever forget. It's just from start to finish, to the coach going home, to all the papers, the press the next day. It's just coming from little old non-league Staines to not even a year later playing in Everton and doing that. It's just dreams come true stuff for kids like me, you know.
One final question. If you could have a night out tonight, whenever it is, there's no lockdown, right? This is just all hypothetical. 3 of your old Mill teammates you're taking with you. You can only pick 3 of them for one last night out.
That's a tough one. Beardy will be there, I suppose. I'll travel in with him. So it'd be Beardy, probably Ben Thatcher, to be honest. He's another young lad at the time. He's a bit of a character. And probably Lee McRobert, because we come together at the same time. So I room with him. So I sort of knew him more than most.
Brilliant. Mate, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on. I've really, really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to
Thanks, mate. Yeah.
and putting all your commentary in with the goals. I'll get it sent through to you, mate, once it's done.
Yeah, brilliant. It's thanks for having me on, Dan. Been a real pleasure, mate.
Brilliant. Top man, Scott. Thanks, mate. Cheers.
No worries. Take care. See you later.